do you feel?
I feel amazing. First and foremost, I want to thank God for the victory. Yeah, I feel good, man. I'm happy. We prepped very hard for this man. I knew he was coming to fight. You know, the Irish guys come to fight. He was undefeated, and he was coming to prove a point. You know, so we prepped very well for that.
Edgar, número 1 ya en la WBA. Ya es hora de hacer en México, Puerto Rico, ya
sí,
con Canelo.
Sí, con Canelo. Vamos a ver si puede pelear con él en mayo, si no en septiembre, pero eso pelea con Canelo, yo quiero. Eso es grande para boxeo, ¿me entiendes?
How did it feel to get back into your knockout ways after more than 3 years and you seem like you were in the groove the moment the bell rang? How did that feel for you?
It feels good. You know, people thought that, you know, the power left or I was a hype job or whatnot, but, you know, it's people gotta understand, right, it's hard when my first 16 fights, I fought 16 rounds, you know. Young fighters fight 16 fights and they have over 100 rounds experience. You know, I only had 16 rounds, so me going a distance, you know, those 5 fights, you know, I feel like it gave me so much experience. You know, I tore my bicep, I got dropped the same night. You know, I still want to fight, but you know, it's all about experience. And you know, just going those rounds. You know, my last fight with Quiggy, I went 12 rounds. I feel like I needed that. I needed to go 12 rounds. I was actually happy because I'm like, damn, I went 12. It's a good thing because now if I got to go out there with the big dogs, you know, with Canelo or McGee, and we go 12 rounds, you know, I know what it feels like to get in those later rounds.
They say a fighter's his own biggest critic. What do you think is the one thing you need to improve on, one thing you didn't like about your performance tonight?
Work to do. You know, I'm not, you know, I'm glad we got the victory, but you know, the war isn't over. You know, we still got a lot to prove. I still got a lot to work on. You know, I got hit with a headbutt, so you know, I got to take probably like a week off, 2 weeks, and I'm right back in the gym working. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day, so I just got to go back to the drum rolls and just keep getting better. You know, because the competition is just going to get better and better.
Berlanga.
You were talking about there about getting back to knockout weight. Is it? What do you feel like that weight off your shoulders? Is it a relief that you got that knockout? The sort of the decision has sort of dried up now in a sense, and now you roll back to knockout weight. Is it more of a relief, would you say?
I mean, I don't listen. Like, I didn't go in there trying to knock him out. You know, it just came. You know, I knew if I put my punches together, I knew in the later rounds I'd take him out. I believe in myself. I believe in my team, and I believe in my skill and my will. Knockouts will come, you know. But at this level, man, it's about setting it up now. You know, I got to be a lot more smarter. You know, I feel like the first 60 fights, like I said before, it didn't give me that much experience. And now that I went those rounds, you know, now I'm grown as a fighter. You know, I moved out from New York City. I'm in Florida. I'm focused. I'm zoomed into my career. You know, just giving my all to boxing.
Can you talk about Patrick McCrory? What do you think about his performance and his ability to stand up to some of your power through the early rounds?
Yeah, they didn't know I was gonna have fast feet like that, but I always had that. You know, they thought I was gonna have cement feet like the Quiggy fight, so he thought he was just gonna tee off on me and land big shots. His coach told me that as soon as the fight was over, he said, "You don't fight nothing like you fight. I mean, you was fighting before, man. Like your legs, your movement, your jab, everything was just on point. You know, you fought totally different. That was the game plan, and that's just how I fight, bro. It's just we you know, Mark grabbed me after almost 5 years not being with him, and he had to break a lot of bad habits I was doing. You know, Mark always taught me to hide the power. You know, that's how I was knocking guys out so easy in the beginning of my career. You know, it was just flowing, just letting my punches flow, then everything just come. You know, I see a shot, boom, he's out. Next, so that's how we train. You know, we never went in there. You gotta knock this guy out. Nah, we went in there. Use the jab, use your feet, use your feints. You know, be smooth and it'll come.
El plan de pelea fue desde el principio, ¿te preparaste para dar un knockout desde temprano o qué querías realmente tú hacer en esta pelea? ¿Lo que sucedió hoy fue lo que querías hacer o qué?
No, para esta pelea, ¿me entiendes? Yo sabía que Patrick McCrory, ese tipo viene para pelear, ¿me entiendes? Y yo sé que un knockout en primer round, en el segundo round, eso no va con él, porque él es fuerte y yo sé que lo va a pelear. Los planes de nosotros es boxear, usar jab, bien movimiento y el knockout bien.
Hablaste encima del ring de pelear en contra de Canelo.
Sí.
En este momento, ¿tú te sientes preparado si fuese la próxima pelea con Canelo o hiciera una pelea adicional de preparación?
Claro que sí, yo creo que se pelea ahora.
Ya.
Yo con Canelo, ese es un gran pelea de este año, México contra Puerto Rico, y para pelear con él yo sabía que necesito un knockout así o un win, ¿me entiendes? Grande, y yo hizo eso ya, so, estamos ready para él.
Edgar, to piggyback off that, what do you think you could present to Canelo that'll give him a challenge?
Obviously we just came up with a big victory. It's Puerto Rico versus Mexico, man. You know, I feel like it's the biggest fight. Yeah, I don't have a belt, but you know, I'm just a lot bigger than a lot of these guys at 168. As far as, you know, my status, you know, I'm big. Like, I'm him, so I feel like right now that's the fight to happen. You know, I know he's struggling looking for opponents, and you know, I feel like we fit right there for him. You know, I feel like I could take over the 168 division. You know, it's Puerto Rico versus Mexico. That's the biggest, you know, rivalry in boxing.
Edgar, how were you able to, tune out the crowd in order to stay patient and, find your knockout instead of rushing, chasing?
Yeah, one thing I did, for this fight was I cut a lot of the noise out, on my team. I didn't cut, I'm not gonna say I cut people off, but I just cut the noise. I just told people, respect my privacy, respect my space. I need to be by myself. And, this whole camp, I just been by myself, with my family and my team. I think that's the most important thing for a fighter, to stay locked in. Floyd said something. He said he doesn't focus on nothing outside of boxing. Everything he focuses on is boxing, and that's why he is who he is. And I listen to that every day, and now I'm putting that to my life, and obviously that's results.
Suponiendo que la pelea de Canelo no se dé, ¿tienes algún otro nombre en mente?
Si no Canelo, Munguía. Son los dos peleas grandes para este año. Y tú sabes que Munguía ganó grande contra John Ryder. Y nada, son los dos peleas yo quiero.
Edgar, I know you just said, obviously, if not Canelo, then you would take on Munguia. And you had a lot of support in the building today. But you also had a little bit of opposition here visiting, watching in your fight. After the fight, I met up with Morrell, and he said he would take that fight. If you couldn't get Munguia, if you couldn't get Canelo, would you consider Morrell for your next fight?
Nah, we on to something different right now. I know they gave us a WBA, number one for the title, but yeah, we on to bigger things. We want Canelo.
Enough said.
Other than
¿Hay alguna plaza que tengan en mente si la pelea de Canelo se diera? ¿En qué plaza fuera? ¿Fuera en Nueva York? ¿Fuera en Las Vegas? ¿Dónde fuera?
Con
Canelo.
En Las Vegas. Las Vegas ya tú sabes, ese es el punto del boxeo ahora mismo.
you weren't looking for the knockout, but when did you feel like you knew he's out of here soon?
I just knew I started breaking him down. Like the first 2 rounds, I just wanted to get his timing. I wanted to use my legs. I wanted to see what he was, what he was giving. And I seen a lot of he was lunging in, he was doing a lot of right hooks. He was trying to land big shots. And then once I started seeing that after the 3rd round, I started putting my punches together. And then I started going down to the body, and I started every time I touch him, he was like. So I already knew. I was like, oh yeah. And I just seen him break it down little by little. And we go back to the 4th round. Marcus listen, you're breaking him down. Keep using your jab. Don't get crazy. Don't get nothing with nothing stupid. Keep stepping in and giving him angles, keep touching the body, and it'll come. That's what we did.
Se te ve la cara bastante limpia, tienes algunos rasguños, algunas marcas. La pegada de McCrory, ¿cómo la sentiste en comparación quizás con el boxeador más duro que te ha pegado antes? ¿Cómo sentiste su pegada?
McCrory tiene fuerza en mano. El tiro creo, left hook.
Un gancho izquierdo.
Sí. I think I had a little bit down, hit me, and it buzzed me, in the 4th round, I think. I was like, oh shit, I was like, okay, I gotta, that woke me up. I was like, oof, I gotta stay on point.
I interviewed his coach right before the fight, and he told me that he said he got his hands back together. Last 3 fights, he said he didn't have them. He's fully recovered. So to piggyback off that, I was gonna ask you the same thing. You felt he had power on both hands?
Nah, I didn't. The right hand, I didn't let him hit me with that, because I knew that was his money shot. But and his left hook, I got lazy. I had my left hand a little bit down, I believe, and he hit me like up top of the head. But I could take a punch. You know what I'm saying? I just obviously I'm a fighter. You know, it's boxing. You know, you're gonna get hit. It's just how you respond, and I felt it. You know what I'm saying? But I shook it over and I kept it. Kept it moving forward.